Good girl. So, since today's gonna be really hot, we'll be doing some just practices inside. And also, after being with her for a little bit, noticing that she'll bark sometimes at strangers because she's unsure of them. We definitely want to try to get her socialized and a little bit more comfortable being around others. So it'll be good. It'll be a good opportunity to do some socializing in some nice indoor AC environment. And we'll just kind of work on a little bit of her leash work as well while we're in there, and the focus and the sit stay. But the main goal is going to be definitely getting her out and about and used to some strangers. And what we also did was got her this harness that acts much like a martingale collar. So this way, when she does get scared suddenly or something and she starts moving away, she doesn't just tug too suddenly on her neck here. It just helps to distribute the force. And what this does is it'll pull into itself. Let's see if we can actually show that a little bit here. She's got a lot of fur. There you go. So what happens when she pulls is that it tightens around itself here, so that way she also can't back out of it. But if she does kind of panics and suddenly runs away or something, this will kind of prevent her from, adding some extra sudden force just on her neck. And this way it'll kind of distribute it across her chest more evenly through her shoulder blades and such here. Yeah, there we go. And just make it a little bit more comfortable for her, just because right now the only time she's really pulling is either when she's just kind of interested or walking quickly like that. Just kind of wait here. Yes, good girl. She recognizes the tension. Come back. Very good. So we don't really need to add too much external force or sudden force or anything for her training just yet, because she is responding really well and not just continuing to hard pull or anything. So you can see here, she's already a little uncertain because of this noises here. Okay. Moving away from everything. There we go. It's okay, good girl. So in these situations, especially, sorry, hold on. So in these situations, when we notice that she's afraid of something, we almost want to spend a little bit more time with her around it, so that way she can actually get accustomed to the sudden sounds. They have a few more boards left to load, so we'll give her a little bit of space to make it a little bit easier, and we'll move over here to the shade and where there's some AC and stuff going on. She's a little bit more curious and preoccupied, and sometimes that will really help too when you're out socializing her. So she just doesn't have just that one sound or event that's scaring her. And she actually gets an opportunity to check out other things, because even though these guys are still here loading up the wood they're almost done with, and I don't know if the microphone has been picking it up because they're kind of far away, but it's still been making the sounds, just not as extreme. And because she also has her focus elsewhere, she doesn't notice this as much. Good girl. All right, so you can kind of see, she sees people walking towards her, and she just kind of wants to walk away. And it'll be a little bit of a give and take. So we want her to have plenty of time to get comfortable, but we always also want to avoid her just being able to run away from what's scaring her, right? So the suddenness and the sound of the cart. Good girl. Good girl. There you go. She's doing good. And then she's kind of curious on his bike. Good. Hi, how you doing? Good girl. So I'm just gonna always reward her, very good, for checking back in on me. So especially after she gets interested in something or distracted, if she redirects her focus, I'm gonna make sure to mark and reward that as well. Good girl. It's always a lot of sudden and loud sounds at the home improvement stores. So this is generally a good area to get her accustomed to those things. If it is too much for her and she seems panicky or freaking out or overly scared, we'll usually move a little bit further away so that way the sounds aren't quite as intense, and then get closer as she gets accustomed to it. But right now she's actually doing really well. She kind of gets initially overwhelmed or startled, and then afterwards she settles in and then her curiosity kicks in. So that's really good. Just getting her used to the doors opening and closing. Okay. I'm just gonna do some light guidance because I want her to be able to explore. Yes, good girl. Hi, how you doing? Good girl. And so a good reason why, especially at first, we're not prioritizing her leash work and trying to keep her on a tight heel or anything is because having the leash nice and loose and giving her the opportunity to move freely also helps for us to see how comfortable she actually is in a situation or scenario, as opposed to kind of forcing her to follow us or forcing her to stay all the time. So there, she's interested. Good girl. She'll come back to me. Very good. Good girl. Perfect. Hi. Good girl. So she's definitely curious with some people, so that's really good. Good girl. Just took her out for a potty break before coming over. And that's just something to keep in mind too, especially when you go out to stores. They need restroom breaks or whatnot. And all I'll usually do is give her still a break, maybe after a pass through, just because she's getting additional treats. She also has to drink a little bit more water, especially on days like today when it's really hot out. And then also sometimes the stress of being overwhelmed or scared, or just excited sometimes of everything new. All right, so here. So there, I couldn't tell if she was smelling just to kind of explore the ground or whatnot. So what I'm gonna do is just be on the safe side and carry her to the outside, see if she needs a potty break, and then we'll come back in again. Usually places that are pet friendly don't mind too much about accidents. It's always good to try to bring bags, of course, with you to help clean up. But it's usually even better to try to avoid those situations as much as possible, especially since we're also working on her potty training. We want to make sure she still goes outside as opposed to, in the store as well. Good girl. So we're just gonna take her for a little bit of walk here outside. There's some mulchy areas that she can relieve herself in, and some trash cans nearby. Don't need to rush her or anything. This is once again because it's kind of in a very new area for her with a lot of different smells. She might also be getting distracted by those things. So even if she did need to use the bathroom, she might need a second to kind of calm and settle herself back down before reaching to that point where she needs to relieve herself or she's calmed down enough for it. Good girl. Still plenty of sounds and people as well in the parking lot. Just want to make sure to keep a close eye on her so she doesn't be running out into the street or picking anything up on the floor that could be bad for her. Hi, how you doing? So there, she moved away at first and then she moved back to check on the person, right? She's very consistent, at least with her behavior. So very initially apprehensive, but then she follows it up with some good friendly curiosity. Okay. Try to keep her out of the street. Good girl. Okay. All right. She seems to be doing okay, so we'll go ahead and start making our way back into the store. You said it's really hot outside, so trying to work her inside as much as possible. So a lot of it, especially with initial social sessions, is going to be following her cue, letting her show you how comfortable or uncomfortable she is in different scenarios. And then as she gets better and we get more practice in on things like the leash behavior, then we can start setting those different expectations out and about as well. It's just important when we're out with her, especially at first, to just focus on one or two important things at a time as opposed to overwhelming ourselves and also possibly frustrating or overwhelming her by trying to do too many things at once. So here, I'll give her another opportunity while these guys are crossing the street with the cars, and then as soon as it gets quiet again, we'll try to cross back in. Thought she was gonna go, but she didn't. Got a lot of people crossing now, so we're gonna go ahead and cross with. Good girl, come on.
Get hot on his cold.
Yeah, I gotta get in there. Yeah, that's another thing too, is especially with the heat being so hot, the pavement gets really hot as well. So trying to stay either on the cooler concrete really helps. Hi, how you doing? And then concrete like this is gonna be nice and cool on her paws. Good girl. Hi, how you doing? Oh, pardon me. Oh, sorry. Come on, come on, come on. Good girl. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Yes, very good. Good job. Good girl. So just rewarding her for her focus. Good girl. It's Halloween season, so that is also going to probably be a difficult thing for her to get used to. Try to go to PetSmart so she can get used to the Halloween costumes, and then there's areas like this as well, which is really good. It's got all of the decorations. I'm not going to activate anything because that will definitely be a little bit too much for her, but at least letting her kind of walk around them and see. She's very interested in this cardboard. So I'm going to do a little bit of leash pressure. Good girl. And then pay her for acknowledging. Good. And we'll see how she does here. Good girl. Doesn't seem to notice. It gets really difficult when, of course, you press the buttons and there's that sudden, loud, and purposefully scary sound, as well as the movement. But we'll save that for now. We're gonna try to make her first experience as good as possible, or as positive as possible. So letting her smell. The music is pretty loud here, so I'm gonna try to kind of move her along so that way I don't end up having to cut out all of the audio. Good girl. And all I'm gonna do is just start walking where I'm gonna go, and the leash pressure will help with that. Oh, hi, how you doing? Good girl.
You baby.
What do you think?
Can we pet her?
Yeah, she's working.
What dog is that?
A golden doodle.
Or no?
Yeah.
It's a golden doodle?
She's just skittish, so that's why we're kind of just out and about trying to get her.
socializing.
Yeah, good girl.
Oh, it's so
Oh, that was pretty good.
You're so sweet.
Yeah.
Good interaction.
I love that
Yeah.
she's not jumpy and stuff.
She can be,
So
but she's doing really good so far.
Really pretty.
Good girl.
Sweet.
Good job. There you go.
Yeah, did good job.
Thank you, ladies. Good girl. And it's really good to take advantage of scenarios like that, especially since she's younger and she's cute. You'll usually get a lot of volunteers for interactions with her. So we'll just give her a moment there. And now I'm gonna go and start walking the other way, increase that leash pressure. Good girl. Gonna let her smell a little bit. And then we'll start going again. Good girl. All right. It is luckily a little bit cooler out here because of all the shade and the fans. Not quite as cool as inside, so it's still a bit warm, but the ground should be fine. And when we go back inside, we'll move away from that front area where the music was really loud. Good girl, yes. Good. Good girl. Good girl. It's okay. There you go. So she's unsure of the sound there. Container. Give her some time to move towards it on her own. Good, good girl, very good. You try to walk her back inside. And this could be good too. We'll stay far away so we're not in the way or in harm's way as well. But we'll let her kind of get used to the heavy machinery moving around over there. Good girl, very good. Most of these will be pretty harmless for her to get into and smell. You just want to be careful of like the pesticides and different chemicals. Okay, she wants to go left. I'm going to go right. Good job. Slow down a little bit. Let her explore the pots. Good. She wasn't startled by the sound of the doors opening, so that was good. All right, and it's a little bit quieter over here, so that's good. Depending on the time of day, oh, there's the music. So depending on the time of day, as well as what day of the week that you go to the store, can also help to dictate how busy, of course, it'll be on major holidays like Labor Day weekend, when people are going to be off and doing a lot of home projects. This place gets a lot busier. Whereas during the weekdays, especially in the mid-mornings or early afternoons, it's going to be a lot quieter. So that'll give her more of an opportunity to kind of just see one or two people or work on your leash skills without her being overwhelmed by too many people and possibly other pups too nearby. Good girl. Could leave it. Hi, how you doing? Good. Good girl. Very good. So that was good. She was just curious. She wasn't too overly excited, but at the same time, she wasn't scared. Good girl. So here, I'm gonna actually go this way around. She feels the leash pressure. Good girl, good follow. So just like with our walking exercises. Oh, sorry. Thank you. We want her to recognize the leash pressure, and then we just give her that praise and mark that timing when she does the correct thing. So we got a couple people there. She's doing really good so far. Good girl. Yes. Come. Good. Sit. Come. Good girl. Good job. So taking advantage of it when she's that focused to practice those little drills. Good girl. Is really good for her, especially when she's out in new environments that can be very distracting. Hi. Good girl, yes. Good. And it's not that we need to heavily discourage her because we want her to, feel like it's okay to meet other people. We just want her to check in with us first as much as possible before just engaging by herself, just because there'll be some people, of course, that don't like dogs or may be allergic or even maybe scared of dogs. So that's why in those cases there, when she either acknowledges the leash pressure or she sees somebody and she just checks back with me, that's the reason why I am marking and rewarding that kind of behavior. So we want her eventually to get the consistency down of being out and about, seeing somebody, and instead of just going towards them, checking back in with us, and then we go towards them together. Just picking up some trash on the floor here. She dropped it, so it's just paper. Also want to be very careful when we're out and about here too. Hi, how you doing? Good girl. Alright. So we'll go ahead, let her get some noises again outside, and then we'll go ahead and go back and give her a break and some water. Good girl. Excuse me. Good girl. That was good. She was already moving quickly past through there, and she didn't kind of pick up her speed or look back when that loud sudden noise happened. So that was really good. So we got big carts coming over this way, especially when you got a lot of people that are working heavy materials, and in general when you're out socializing her, you want to try to be as out of the way as possible too, so that way she doesn't get hurt. Good girl, very good, perfect. That was pretty loud, and she didn't even flinch, so that was really good. Good girl. Okay, we're gonna wait for this other cart here to pass, and that's gonna be another very loud one. Good girl. Sit. Good sit. Perfect, good girl. There you go. That was really good because she was even moving towards that sound nice and calmly. Good girl. All right. Looks kind of like the last of it for now. So yeah, we'll go ahead, give her a little bit of a break back at home, some water, and we'll probably do another trip or maybe even two today just because it's going to be so hot out. Give her a little bit of change of pace. She did really well. Good girl.